guys, welcome back to SE2 SEA, the finest of the finest of our Code A tournament, and they have both already qualified for Code S, right?
Yes.
Okay, so spawning at the bottom left, we have our Singapore player spawning as a blue Protoss, nGenRefallen. And at the top right hand side corner, we have our Thailand player playing in his nation's color, which is our red Terran, also known as Far. And so far, oh my god, his name is so weird for me to cast with. It makes me tongue-tied, and I'm really pretty bad at some words, so... Far building his supply depot up front, which is kind of different from what you usually see when they build against Protoss player. Because if you actually do that, what I would think is he would actually build a bunker up front so he can block off his ramp. Otherwise, it would be... I'm gonna see where is he going to. Okay, he's just gonna scout. There's no proxy pylon.
This is going to be more of a standard matchup than that we're used to seeing, since the GSL maps aren't being used as often as I'd like. But so it was good to see how these guys react in a more familiar setting than any of the others. They will be much more practiced on these maps. And given the fact that Far is currently up 1-0, I'm going to have to give him the advantage just due to his harassment style. I don't think Refallen's been able to deal with it.
Well, it looks like, I mean, I guess it's gonna go for 3-gate expand again. I mean, that's the safest build you can have on this map against a Terran player as well. What I would really like to see is Far abuse early game of his race, which is Terran. Early game, they're really strong against Protoss, especially when they go for a Marauder Marine opening, and that would just decimate Refallen's build for sure, because it perfectly counters that 3-gate expand from him.
Yeah, that's depending on which build you just try to go for as well, though. So we do have a long off here by Far. That probe, unfortunately, on the outside of it. Let's see which way he wants to go. So, given the fact that we saw that very big harassment style by Far, I wouldn't actually put it past Refallen to actually go for some kind of aggressive opener like a 4-gate. We do see that factory down now for Far as well. Like, his build auto loses to any kind of 4-gate that we saw in the last game, and he almost actually got through with the 2-gate poke that he did. Sorry, the 3-gate poke that he did. If there was just a few more zealots in the mix, he actually would have done a lot more damage than he should have and could have possibly broken through. We do have Chrono Boost on that first Stalker, and we got a second gateway coming down now to see which way he wants to go with it. We actually got a second barracks as well now this time for Far, so he's not going to be going for that cloak Perchy.
Well, like I said, I really hope he does some kind of early aggression. You do see that the choice, I mean, would you agree that even though 3-gate expand is really safe, but it also opens yourself to a lot of early aggression, especially when you're playing against an aggressive Terran, which Far has shown himself to be?
Well, the 3-gates are still very capable of actually defending any kind of attacks that come that early, especially with that stem timing nerf, so I think he's going to be safe with a lot of that kind of stuff.
Definitely. He is also not chrono boosting his warp gate for some time now, though.
Yeah, we'll see which way he goes with it. The chrono boosting of the warp gate the entire time is mainly only just, well, we do have a little bit of a poke out here, 3 Marines and 2 Marauders by Far, but given this 1-gate expand coming down from Refallen, should still be able to hold it off, as he does have 2 Zealots and 2 Stalkers. Far wisely pulling back. There is a Hellion coming through. With the Nexus down now, though, he's going to have to get those extra 2 gateways and Robo Bay down as soon as possible. Considering it is a 3 racks and a factory coming out from Far, so it can be very aggressive. Well,
this like you said, this 2-gate expand that Refallen is doing is so risky as well. But you do see Far did drop down 3 barracks, and he has a reactor and also a tech lab on his barracks at the moment, and he's getting steam pack after he has got concussive shell. So he is going for some kind of early bio play for sure, and that is going to effectively block any Refallen's build that he's having at the moment, because he doesn't have that sentry count just right yet, which he really needs to counter such an early push coming from far, which is coming in almost right now. These Hellions are definitely gonna go into the main base of Refallen to try to take as many probes as they can, and you do see the mini bio army that is waiting at the goal base outside of us. Outside of Refallen's base. So we're gonna see how much damage does this bio ball attack actually does, and here they come. Looking at the army count size, Far is definitely a hit, and he's gonna pull some of his probe out to try to defend this, but that is such a bad idea because the Hellions see that and they do come. Oh my god, they got blocked at the last minute, and that was great control by Refallen for sure.
Yeah, nicely done by Refallen there. I think it was a bit of a mistake by Far not to actually press his advantage. He lost quite a few Hellions and even loses another one straight there for really no reason. There's only one sentry, 2 sentries now. The stem is nowhere near done for him. He's sitting at about 30 seconds away still. So he's going to be forced to back off, and this is going to put him extremely behind. And I wouldn't be surprised if he would actually GG out right here, because he's going to be a base down. He's actually quite a few workers down as well, 12 workers down. He is slightly behind on the supply as well, but it comes down to what can he do with these Marauders here. We do have an Immortal being chronoed out now by Refallen. He also has that Observer in going forward. There goes Stem. It is down. He is going to try and kite these Zealots as best he can. Probes being pulled to try and get a corner on these units, but no, he's going to have to back off. But the more time he gives for this Immortal and more units to come out, the harder it is going to be for Far, considering the supply count is actually really favouring Refallen right now.
And also, Minor, you're absolutely right regarding the supply count and also the Immortal side, because Immortals are going to counter this bio army so hard, and you have to remember that Refallen already has an expansion of what Far seems like he's going for some sort of what do you actually call like a Terran Fogate, which is an all-in push, and even though he's going to have his Orbiter coming up really soon, he's already pretty much behind income-wise, and Refallen is about 50% more ahead of him, and he actually had a really good opening earlier with his Hellion and his Marine Marauder push, but I don't know why he either did not micro it well enough, or he didn't find an entry to actually kite the army that Refallen had standing up front, and he lost those Hellions when he shouldn't have, because at the same time Refallen was transforming probes down to the natural. He could have pulled the Hellions back and came in from the side, from the right side of the base, and took down those probes that were gonna be there for him to roast. So he lost his timing window, and now he really has to defend, because if Refallen does decide to go ahead with his Immortals and try to push, I do think that he will be able to take this game.
Well, we do have a second forge down now for Refallen, going to be throwing down as many upgrades and chronos as he can on that, getting a few more gateway units. He's sitting at 92 supply to 75. He's also 20 workers ahead. If we have a look at this income tab, 1,500 minerals to 1k here for Refallen's lead. He's also getting a Twilight Council to use those. I would really prefer to see a Robo Bay, just because he needs that kind of splash damage to deal with this Marine count very shortly, as it will even up the count. But with those double forge, it should be okay, as we do have a lot of units coming out now from Far. He might be going for another offensive. He does have 2 Medivacs out now to heal up all these units. But he's going to be careful, because Refallen cannot get caught out of position here.
You're absolutely right. But this bio build, I mean, this bio ball looks super big from Far. Refallen actually had an entry over there the moment he... I mean, because Far steamed so much when he tried to take down so many probes at the natural earlier, so most of his army were actually at around, what, half health, I would say, and he already had like 2 Immortals out, so that was an opening for him that he did not take. Plus, he already had a good amount of sentries. And here comes a drop coming from Far, one of his kind of signature, but there is already a stalker there waiting to scout that. What do you think about this drop?
He's just high-fived the Observer with his dropships as he went through as well, so Refallen's pulling quite a few Stalkers back to deal with that. One of the Stalkers actually forces the dropships away as well. We might see another attack coming in from Far on the right-hand side here with these units, but there's going to be no third for him to actually deal with. He's going to take out this factory that has been scouting for Far. Still, he's getting blinked, but I'm still kind of surprised that we don't see any Colossi, or we don't even see some Templar tech coming out, as he is really going to need that kind of AoE damage soon, especially with Ghosts coming at it.
This is so sick. He's getting Ghost. You're absolutely right. And he's also getting Charge Lot at the same time. So his build, he wants to really counter this bio army, but here comes a drop also at the far at the same time at the main base of Refallen, and he has to pull his army back for sure. And at the same time, an army is coming and tearing through the natural of Refallen, and looks like Refallen is gonna lose this base if he actually does not defend it. And you do see it's doing such a good job, but he decides to actually go for the pylon. What do you think about his choice of attacking? Like, he decides to go for the pylon instead of the Nexus, which he could have tried to snipe down because he has so many Marauders there.
He definitely would have been able to get the Nexus. It's more of a judgment call. Personally, I would have gone for the Nexus and then killed a couple of pylons on my way out. But he's still got like 5 or 6 pylons, has supply capped Refallen, but he's still 30 supply down, and a nice blink by Refallen there, trying to catch these units on the rebound, and we do have more Marauders at the top. The fact that he's still 14 workers down and Refallen is also taking a gold is going to be very frustrating for him. Even with these Blink Stalkers, he needs to get behind those Zealots there. There we go, far backing off with all these guys. But given the fact it's a very Marauder-heavy army, Refallen should really be transferring into more Zealot-heavy to deal with it. And here we go, so we got Stim, a nice EMP going down on all these units. There goes a Blink, but it's just too many units there. It's 40 supply ahead, and looks like we might be seeing it go to 1-1.
You're absolutely right. I don't think that Fa... I don't think Fa can actually hold against Refallen's army right now, and Refallen totally out-microing, and I have to kind of question Fa's decision-making skill over there. 3 Immortals on the field, and nothing is gonna stop those Immortals. Plus, he already has Blink Stalker. So much DPS coming in from Fa, and if you have a look at the army size, Fa almost having nothing left except for his workers that he has, and he does GG out of this after missing about, what, maybe 2 important timing windows, I would say.
Well, it's a brand new patch that Stim timing is going to change a lot of things, because it's going to take a lot of people some time to get used to the new timing. So we'll go 1-1. We're going to wait for the map choice by Fa and then go into game 3.